All right, so some people have asked me how I get a CA finish in less than 10 minutes. It's really simple. Apologies in advance. My shop's disgusting. My daughter's playing in the front yard, so if there's any interruptions. But yeah, it can be done in 8 to 10 minutes. It can be done really quick. I don't use any of the more complicated methods. I've been doing this for 15, 16 years, since I was about 15 years old, and 14, 15. And I tried everything. I've tried boiled linseed oil. Hold on a sec. I've tried boiled linseed oil. Yeah, the shop is bad. With the CA, I've tried all the alternatives. I've tried. Some people have used like epoxy finishes. I've tried everything, and after 15, 16, I don't know, years, I've come up with this method. It's not anything new. It's not anything innovative, but it's quick. You get down to a glass-like finish, and it's simple. That's sort of the point of this. Is it's simple and quick. I've found that it's just not necessary to get a really good finish with any of these sort of complex processes like using boiled linseed oil and doing 20 coats, something like that. We're going to do 10 coats. We're going to use thin CA. We're going to use accelerator. We're going to use micro mesh. We are going to use Novus 2 polish, okay? So first thing we're going to do is turn on the lathe, make sure it's at low RPMs. I have finish sanded this to 600 grit. That's where the CA finish process starts for me. I've gone up to 1200. There's no difference. If anything, it gets a little harder to apply the CA on that first couple coats. So the first coat here, I'm gonna switch to my right hand. When you fold up the, make sure you don't have any dust on your hands, so I was wiping off my hands. You're gonna fold up the shop towel about like this. I don't use normal paper towels. I haven't found a brand that works nearly as well as shop towels. A lesser durable towel will tear off and put some fibers into the finish. It's just not gonna go well for you. So I'm gonna take this thin CA, gonna put it on the end of the towel here. This first coat, for whatever reason, will take a little bit longer, but what I'm waiting for it to do right there is for it to tack, for me to feel it just start to resist very slightly, and that's where I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna give it 2 quick sprays of accelerator. I'm gonna take the back of the paper, make sure it's dry. I'm gonna do that between each coat. I would fast forward this, but the whole point is kind of to show how quickly it can be done. So it's gonna get boring. I'm gonna talk a lot because I don't really know what else to do. Bear with me. And as I said in the previous video, for any of my work friends that are watching me do this, yeah, I make pens. Deal with it. Is it weird? I don't know. I like it. Been doing it for a long time. And it makes pretty good money on the side, so don't tell the IRS. I really shouldn't have said that on a video. I don't make that much money. It's like less than $600. Don't worry, IRS. I might edit that out. So I'm going to turn up the RPMs a little bit. I'm going to wait. Every single coat after that first coat will tack pretty quickly. And I'm using the word tack. I don't really know what else to say. You'll feel just a slight amount of resistance. If you continue past that point, you'll start to get some of the fibers of the towel tearing off, and you'll see it on the towel itself. That's where you stop, you check, and you see where those fibers are at, and you got to sand it down. And then, you don't really know. If you keep it consistent and you don't have that happen, you kind of know exactly how thick the finish is and how you have to go about it with your micro mesh to not sand through. If you end up getting fibers between every other coat, you don't really know how thick the finish is in every spot. It's probably going to be inconsistent. So we're at, I don't know, what are we at here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 coats. Yeah, this goes quickly. I'm going to flip the towel. My kid's calling me. Uh-oh, here comes the dog. What is that, 8 coats? I'm going to be looking up at you guys frequently. Might seem a little weird, but I've had problems with my camera, which is my phone. Just stops recording like randomly. So we're having good luck so far. Looks like we're still going here. All right, this is coat number 10 or so, something like that, I think. 2 sprays, just like previously. Gonna take the back of the towel. We're done with this, all right? Next is what we're gonna do. We are gonna take this. We are gonna fold it up like this. We are gonna put it in our pocket. I don't know why I'm saying we. It's kind of weird. I'm gonna check and make sure there's no fibers, nothing weird about the finish, no long or high ridges or anything like that. We're looking pretty good. I'm gonna take this, turn the RPMs down. Now I'm gonna take the micro mesh. I'm gonna start at 1500 and keep the RPMs a little bit slow. Take it easy on this because this is the most important part of getting a nice glass-like finish, because this is the process where you're smoothing out all those ridges. You're bringing everything down to a level playing field. But it's a high grit, and it'll be easy to quickly sand through it. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna be gentle, and you're gonna check from the side. I have a light here, and I have some natural light there. Hey, Lily, I'll be inside in 5 minutes, okay? Give me 5 minutes. I'm in the shop. Give me 5 minutes. I'll be there in a second. All right, 1500 is done. I have checked to make sure that there's no high ridges. I'm gonna start going again with the 1800. Lily, stay out there. Give me 5 minutes, okay? My apologies. All right, so we're at 1800, and now we're gonna get up to, what is this, 2400? And this is gonna be the last one where I'm not using Novus 2 polish. I use Novus 2 in the, in between each, one other thing. Once you get to these higher grits, every time I stop and I sand laterally. Lily, go out. I'm gonna be done in 5 minutes, okay? I'm making a video, all right? I will be out there in just a minute. All right, we're at 3200. We're gonna put a little bit of Novus polish on the end here. We're gonna turn up the RPMs a little bit because now it's getting sort of less dangerous to sand through the finish. How long are we at? 9 minutes? Yeah, all right. So this is taking me a lot longer than it usually does, talking through it. But I think we'll still be under 11 or 12 minutes. Gonna sand laterally between each coat. And at this point, we're gonna use this, wipe it down in between each. That's 3600, just a little bit of Novus on there. You don't need much. You'll still have some on the micro mesh once you're done with each coat. I just don't care at this point. I just flip them into the pile. I have sort of a fresh stack that I haven't used. I'm gonna put upside down the ones that I have right next to here. But, you know, you do what you want. Make sure it's on a clean spot. That's where I used it last time. Wipe off that polish. I'm forgetting stuff too. I don't think I've sanded laterally on each coat, but that's all right. Every sheet or so, I'm gonna turn up the RPMs a little bit. When I get to the final polishing stage, I wanna be maxed out on the RPMs. I'm probably at about 50% right now, whatever that means. This is a Jet Mini, so somebody can look up how fast it's going, but about halfway there. All right, and I'm not checking the finish like at an angle. I have a light here that'll help me see if I have any high spots. I know that I've gotten rid of those high spots on the low grits because I checked frequently. So at this point, I am confident that all this is doing is getting a higher quality finish on each coat up until we get to 12,000. Is it possible I've sanded through it on the higher grits? It's not likely because it would take a lot more effort, but it's possible, and I've done it. But just because it doesn't take much time, I just get to the end and then check and find out if I have to restart. If you do have to restart, just hit it with 600 grit until you're back down to bare wood. Give it another go. This might take some practice, but it is the quickest, dirtiest method to get a good CA finish on here. Turn up the RPMs a little bit. Okay, wipe it down. What? Lily, give me a minute. I'm almost done here. I can't hear you. I can't hear you. Oh. Kids. All right, we're at 12,000 grit. I'm gonna be almost maxed out here on the RPMs. I'm gonna give this one a little bit extra time. I gave it a little bit extra polish. I don't want it to dry out. And I'm going to sand laterally. It still looks pretty dull because it's got wet polish drying on it. I'm going to wipe it down, get rid of my micro mesh. I'm gonna take one more shop towel. This is the final portion of the process. Looks like about 11, 12 minutes, I think. Hard to tell because this is gonna be split from a longer video where I sort of started from the beginning. But not everybody wants to watch that, so here we go. I'm gonna get a good dab of Novus on the corner of this shop towel. I'm gonna max out these RPMs. I'm gonna start at the finish spot and sort of move it until I see no more Novus wiping off. Okay? I'm gonna hit it one more time, and this is it. This is the end here. I'm probably going about 25-30% slower, having to explain everything than I usually do when I'm sort of in the zone. So at this point in the process, I'm going to turn it off and we're going to check and see if we've sanded through the finish. I have a light here that sort of is reflecting off to see if we've got any dull spots. You'll know you've sanded through because it'll be really shiny and then there'll be a spot where it's really dull, and we have not done that. We are good to go. I'm going to take this off the lathe and I'm going to take it outside and show you in some natural light. That's the dog. I think the male's here. Anyway, this is the final portion of the video. Just gonna show you guys where we're at here. Let's see, it's really hard on the reverse camera. But it looks like we've got a, glass-like finish on this double-dyed maple spalted burl. There you go. I apologize for the quality here, but that's that. Guys, have a good day, all right? Be safe.